welcome back to Corporal Cadaver's Corner. I'm Bill Combs. I've been playing around with the idea of one of those 5-gallon bucket washing machines that a lot of preppers and survivalists make using just simply a plunger for an agitator, and I was thinking we can do better than this. I looked on the internet, saw a few things. One guy actually took a washing machine and hooked a bicycle up to it, so the agitator and the drum inside the washing machine was, powered by a bicycle with a chain. And I go, okay, that's fine, if that floats his boat. Anyway, I was more concentrating on something not so complicated that we could have a motorized 12-volt washing machine in a collapse situation or grid down situation that could be easily put together using commonly available tools, parts, and didn't require a lot of skill. Anyway, I came up with this. This is my idea. I built this frame. I was using another idea that didn't pan out too well. So I went to the junkyard and got this window washer out of a Chevy Blazer. And the only reason I picked that particular one is because it was there. It was easily accessible. Held in with 3 bolts, and it was easy to pull out. And that's the only reason I went with it. Played around with the wires a little bit. See which ones are hot and positive. In this case, it was the purple's ground, and I got to have these two connected together to make it run properly. Got it hooked up using a 12-volt socket adapter, fused of course, and this is how it works. Keep in mind that the stroke right here is only about 3.5, close to 4 inches, and that's it. You can easily make the stroke longer just by cutting a piece of flat iron like this and bolting it onto this wiper arm connector rod right there. I just drilled out the pop-on arm connector that went to the wiper motor, to the wiper arms. But you could easily bolt on a longer piece of metal to increase your stroke length. Or you can take another approach entirely and make a wheel out of some plywood using like a hacksaw or a jigsaw. And that way you can drill a hole anywhere you want in here to increase your stroke. In this case, this one would be about 6 inches. Like I say, this is part of the other idea that didn't pan out, so I'm not going to use it. This works pretty well, because all you need to really do is just get that plunger to go up and down and agitate the water with some detergent in it. Keep in mind that this is really just quick and dirty. I got this plywood here. I got the motor mounted through there. We're using some bolts and a couple nuts and some spacer washers. Right here, this bolt is actually pretty loose. I got to keep it so the plunger can move freely, and at the same time stay fairly snug so it doesn't bind up. I'm using 2 nuts here on the end to keep it all. Got some plywood spacers in there. I got some small washers again for spacing. And this I just drilled out and cut out with a battery powered jigsaw, and that didn't take too much. I mean, it's pretty simple. Like I said, this is just quick and dirty. Just wanted to get this to see how well it would work. And that's pretty much it. Like I say, the only drawback to this is this lid right here. I don't like that. That's one of those snap-on lids. For ease of use, you'd probably want one of those Gamma Seal lids that screw on and drill a hole in there for your plunger. That way you can just pick the whole unit up. And that way it's easier to get your clothes or whatever you're washing out of there. The big thing is, it's just with the detergent. The detergent just helps break down the surface tension of the water so that the water can get in between the fabric, the weave of the fabric easier, and also break down the grease and dirt and keep that in suspension. That way the agitation just works it out from between the fibers of the cloth. And that's pretty much it. Okay, it doesn't need to be this tall. You can see how tall that is. Like I say, that's from another idea that didn't work out, and I just want to get this going quick and dirty and show you all how it is. Get that adjusted right. It really doesn't need to be that tall, just should cut it off right there. If I was really so inclined, I would make this so that it would break down even more. That way everything could be fit inside the bucket. So that way when you have to bug out, you could have a washing machine to take with you on the road. That way if something happens, you can at least have the ability to wash your clothes, because most survivalists know that clean clothes will help you keep you better protected from the elements, at least as far as warmth retention. The other reason why I did this is put this plug on here was so that you could plug it into your vehicle's lighter socket, or maybe you got a 12-volt adapter accessory plug on the back of your vehicle. Make sure it's got fused, of course, because you want this fuse to go out before your vehicle electrical system catches on fire if there is a problem. Because burning up your vehicle in a bug out situation is kind of detrimental. And that's it. I wanted to keep this as simple as possible. I say this is quick and dirty. I kind of threw it together. I could refine it considerably. I might do that in the future. The only thing I would kind of go for is a quick disconnect on this plunger handle. I might work on that in the future, using like a clevis pin and a clevis pin to make sure it's quick disconnect. The real reason I went this route with a 12-volt windshield wiper motor is because it runs basically on 12-volt batteries, of course. Is because you could easily hook it up into a small solar system, and that's why I'm such an advocate of solar power. Even small arrays will work wonders for you. You just have to learn to work within the limitations of the solar power. Now I know a lot of people are really hell bent against it. They're more hooked up there to the generators, and that's all fine. But if the diesel fuel is no longer available, you're going to have problems getting things to go. So, but the sun's always going to rise in the east and set in the west. It's always going to be there. And that's a lot of things. The solar panels themselves, they're just simply battery chargers, and the bulk of all the power usually is going to come out of the batteries. And when nothing's in use, the solar panels will just simply charge the batteries back up. Like I had a van. I had some earlier videos of that. I don't know if I got them up on my channel or not. If I look, I had 220 watts of power on my van, and that did wonders. That was a wonderful system. It ran my little refrigerator. It ran my laptop computer. It ran a fan and a few 12-volt, interior lights all at the same time. My little refrigerator was a Norcold. It was 36 watts peak draw, 12 volts, 3 amps. So it's just 36 watts, and a lot of people never understood that. Just how well a small solar system would work. And it kept food cold. It actually made ice. I got a couple batteries. I was working on an electric bicycle. That didn't quite work out. Well, modified anyway. Right there you can see I got a couple of Optima Blue Tops. I'm going to keep those for when I rebuild a solar system. And that's also why I really harp on it, because you don't need a big system, and you have the ability to wash your clothes. Now depending on how big of a system you got, or batteries and the other tools and equipment you have, you might be able to actually use your regular washing machine, the big one. That would work very well off batteries, because it only runs like 15 or 20 minutes. And more importantly, a big washing machine also has that spin cycle, which will get most of the water out of the clothes, whereas something like this won't. You have to wring it out yourself. And, anyway, a real powerful tool that you might want to invest in is one of those kilowatt devices that measures electrical use for a particular device. You just simply plug it into a wall socket, then you plug whatever it is you're going to test into the kilowatt. I found that my chest freezer runs about 150 watts peak draw, but more importantly, related to this, my washing machine will only draw about 650 watts at peak use. And it only runs for like 15 minutes, and it's not 600 watts draw the whole time. A lot of times it's only drawing 120 watts. So if you have a small solar system and a good 1,000 watt power inverter, you could wash your clothes. You just It's just a matter of getting the water to the washing machine, which you could, fill it, make a little platform and put a 50-gallon barrel up there. Of course, getting water or something else. You might want to, well, that's up to you where you get your water from. You can collect it off your roof, for non-drinking use, of course. Crudely filter it, get the particulates out. Little chlorine bleach to purify it, to make sure there's no nasty microbes in there. Use it but you got to have it elevated so that your washing machine solenoid will be able to open up and the water will flow in there as if it's under pressure. So the nice thing about my washing machine where I'm at now is it's one of those auto level sensing, so it would only fill up the drum only so much. Anyway, I'm probably rambling again. I'm really tired. I didn't get much sleep the last couple of days. No rest for the weary. Anyway, just wanted to show you this. Just, like I say, this washing machine I put together, crudely made. It'll wash a few clothes at a time. It'll agitate. And that's the other thing you might want to think about if you can find one. You could even use a small 120 volt motor, or if you want to get really down and dirty, get a battery operated reciprocating saw like the battery operated DeWalt's. Somehow mount that onto the frame and then mount your plunger handle to that and use the variable speed on the DeWalt drill, or the DeWalt saber saw, to control the speed of the agitation, because it's going to have like what, 1.5 inch, 2 inch stroke, but you get it going, it'll probably do a good job. Like I say, there's all kinds of options. I'm sure you could think up a few of yourself. But the thing is, we're even try to hook it up to a bicycle. That way you can just sit there and pedal it for a few minutes. But anyway, what I was getting at is a little 12 volt timer, or if you using a 120 volt motor with a variable speed control, you can control that quite well. You could put a disc on there, and that way you could control the stroke length of the plunger. And you could get one of those little light timers that'll run for 15 minutes, so it'll shut off after 15 minutes. Like I say, there's all kinds of options out there for you. I just want to point you in the right direction and help you get a good idea so you can make one yourself, according to your needs. Well, I hope this helped you out, and until next time, keep your head down and stay safe.